2026 is going to be a massive year for movies. Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey, Avengers Doomsday, Dune Part 3, Project Hail Mary, Godzilla Minus Zero, The Devil Wears Prada 2. There's so many films coming out this year. It was hard to narrow this list down, but we got to 15 of our most anticipated films coming out in 2026. There's going to be timestamps below. This is going to be a doozy of an episode, so you can jump around, check out some films that you may have never heard of or that you're most excited for, and join the discussion. Let us know in the comments down below what movies you're excited for as well. All right, onto the video.
Yeah, so right off the gate, we are starting with a movie that I saw the trailer for this maybe a few months ago, and I've been obsessed with it since. It's called How to Make a Killing. Pretty much it's directed by John Patton Ford. It's also starring Glenn Powell, Margaret Qualley, Ed Harris, Topher Grace, my homie Jessica Henwick, and all that. Like it's a very interesting movie, and just to read the synopsis for everybody, it's about a guy who was disowned at birth by his wealthy family. Beckett Redfellow will stop at nothing to reclaim his inheritance, no matter how many relatives stand in his way. So pretty much he's trying to get money. He's trying to get something that he believes he is owed, and he's going to kill all his relatives to do it. It's right up my alley. I love movies like this where it's very, hey, I'm going to go after my distant relatives, because I'm guessing with this movie, he doesn't know who his full family is and whatnot. We don't know the full scope just yet, but I'm really excited for this. I love kind of these like revenge style stories and these like characters who who create these plans and these plots to get what they want, hence no other choice for those of you who have seen it to, just to piggyback off of that. And yeah, I'm also just trying to become a Glenn Powell fan. I know that's somewhat of a hot take. I'm trying to get on board with like Hollywood's favorite like leading white men at the moment. So like Timothy Chalamet, Glenn Powell, the one I love the most is in a movie that Nate will talk about later on. But right now I'm trying to get on board with Glenn Powell. I like the concept. I like the cast and whatnot. So I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to see this in February. This might be a cute little double feature around Valentine's Day. I don't know I don't know. At least for me, I don't know if other people want to take their partner to see this kind of movie, but we're gonna find out.
The I killed my family with your loved ones. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to say for a second, I think it's funny how Glenn Powell is like vegetables for you. He's like, I gotta support Glenn Powell. I gotta learn to like Glenn Powell. I just find that really, really funny. Where it's like, dude, you don't have to force feed yourself Glenn Powell movies, but this one does look great. I will say, I'm excited for this one.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's not about like force feeding. It's more so just like, I don't know. I like to see like, okay, who is the community quote unquote rooting for, right? Or who are at least the people to watch that the community always likes to talk about, especially are like more well respected news outlets and whatnot. I'm just like, okay, what are they checking out? Let me see what Glenn Powell is up to. I liked Twisters and whatnot. I liked Top Gun. That was pretty fun. I was like, huh, let me see if I like him in this. It's right up my alley. I wanted to play more weird characters. This feels like a weird character. That one movie he did on Netflix, which, well, it was
Hitman?
Yes, that one kind of put me off of the man a little bit because I was just like, I can't fall for this fantasy. Ain't no way a man looking like Glenn Powell's out here having trouble with women. It confuses me and whatnot. And then you somehow give it Adria Arjona. Okay, sir, your life is so bad. My goodness, and whatnot. But yeah, I'm trying to get on board.
I dig it. And Nate's the opposite, right? You're a huge Glenn Powell fan.
I love Glenn Powell. I mean, I still like The Running Man, but considering that was one of my favorite like new movie stars working with one of my favorite directors, Edgar Wright, I was a little bit like, that was decent when I was like, that could have been one of my like movies of the year, just because this guy did Baby Driver. But like, he's very smart with how he picks his projects, I think. And this movie looks fun. I mean, it's another kind of, we've seen the Eat the Rich movies a lot, and some people are getting kind of tired of them. I don't. I find them fun. And I mean, I'm curious to see him in this kind of role, if he's going to kind of do what he did in Hitman.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm excited. I like the director's last movie before this, Emily the Criminal, with Aubrey Plaza. I thought that movie was really good. So
I remember that. Yeah.
I hope this works.
Nice.
I have to see it.
this is one of the first movies on our list. It's coming out February 20th, right? This is an automatic watch for me because you guys know beginning of the year movies can be rough, and so the fact that we have one in February that looks legit good, I gotta go there. I gotta go and support it. And you know, A24, as of late for me, they've kind of been hit or miss,
Yeah.
but you know, this one looks very interesting, so I'm here for
Trying
it.
to be more commercial.
I trust Margaret Qualley. Most of the roles she's been in are great.
Yeah.
So I'm like, at least I will be entertained when I go to see this movie. So like, again, there's a lot more working for this movie, I think, than a lot of us aren't really thinking about as much. But yeah, we'll see how it goes.
For sure, for sure. Coming up next, Nate, you're taking this one. Talk to us about Project Hail Mary.
So this is finally Phil Lord and Chris Miller. They haven't actually directed a movie since 22 Jump Street, and that was 12 years ago, which is wild. They, you know, we know them for Spider-Verse. They didn't direct those. So to see them return with an adaptation of one of my favorite recent books, which is written by Andy Weir, who also wrote The Martian, and the guy who wrote the screenplay for The Martian, Drew Goddard, he's writing the script in this as well. This is with Ryan Gosling. He plays a middle school science teacher who is recruited by these world leaders, the top scientists, to go into space and solve this issue involving the sun is dying. Along the way, he becomes the first human to meet an alien. The trailers kind of show you a lot of this movie, but I mean, the book is just so great. I remember because the author, he wrote a book in between The Martian and this that was a little bit of a letdown. And I was like, will he ever top The Martian? And this is just right up on par with that book. And the buzz on this movie has been like glowing for over a year now. So many people thought it was going to come out, like they were going to push it up to this past Christmas season to compete for Oscars. I think this movie will be an Oscar contender still. It looks great visually, just from the trailer as well. It made me like a Harry Styles song, which is kind of shocking. But again, I just love Ryan Gosling as well. He is probably my favorite movie star. Besides Tom Cruise, I will see anything he does, and this role just feels perfect for him. But yeah, I think this movie's going to be like the first massive hit of 2026, like box office and critical and view-wise. Like it's going to be big, and I'm very, very, very excited for it.
Everything you said are my favorite words. You know, Gosling is kind of like Margaret Qualley, where it's like when they're in something, I kind of have to show up. I got to be there. They're not bad at picking roles. I love The Martian. That still is like one of my favorite movies of the 2010s. Like it's incredible. Lord and Miller, again, like back in the director's chairs. That's great. So like there is no reason for me to not watch this day one. I can't wait to see it. It's automatically, like, I hate to say it, but like it's probably going to be like top 5 for me for this year already, just off of everything I know about it alone. I obviously have to see it. That can change, but this is one of those movies that's made for Mike to go check out. What about you, Cliff? How are you thinking about Project Hail Mary?
Oh, I'm very excited for this. Like, we definitely coming back to that comment though. Like, when this movie comes out, we're gonna be like, Mike, what do you think? It's the number one already. But yeah, everything y'all mentioned. I love The Martian. It's one of my favorite movies from 2014, I believe, is when it dropped.
15.
Wow, 11 years. Okay, but yeah, I love that movie. Wow, we up here, people. But yeah, I love The Martian, so I'm really excited to know that we're adapting another book from Andy Weir. And this is also a kind of sci-fi movie that's right up my alley. I love, goofy sci-fi exploration, and I love the kind of characters, that underdog, that sort of eccentric characters that Ryan Gosling plays throughout a lot of his movies, and like having this kind of character meet an alien, and it seems like they might have sort of a I want to say
friendship. It's about friendship.
Yeah, it's about friendship and like just two weird characters both meeting new people, new beings. How does that play out? What's going to be funny? What's going to be very, sad? What's going to make us fall in love with these characters? I can't wait. And plus, yeah, I love the cast. But yeah, I'm here. This is definitely gonna be a sci-fi movie that I need to check out. Hopefully opening weekend. And yeah, I'm ready.
Are you ready for the next one though? It's
Oh,
ready
most
or
definitely.
not.
Oh,
Here I come.
yeah. Shout out to the Fugees and whatnot. But yeah, this next movie, Ready or Not 2, Here I Come. This is arguably probably my most anticipated movie of the year, which is saying a lot just because I love the idea. I love taking a very like what somewhat like child's game and turning it into something horrific. And what I love when movies do that and whatnot. But yeah, Ready or Not 2, Here I Come. It is the sequel to one of the best like slasher movies of the past decade and whatnot. It's starring hold on, give me a second. My computer is active. It's starring Samara Weaving, who was the star of the previous film. We're getting Catherine Newton, who I don't know about y'all, but her last three movies I really dug. Lisa Frankenstein, Freaky, Abigail. I love that she's just like kind of honing in on these somewhat horror and like horror adjacent films. So I kind of love that she's now in another like slasher adjacent movie, and she's playing the sister to Samara Weaving's character. So this is just right up my alley. It's a movie that I am excited for. I also love when movies kind of somewhat expand their franchise. That makes sense. Let me put it that way. And so just like now, these characters are now being put into a larger game of sorts. It's going to be a fun time. I'm really excited for it. This is the only movie I will support from a specific studio because they also have another movie coming out, called Scream 7, but I'm not going to see it for obvious reasons for what we all know and whatnot. But yeah,
Yeah.
this is fun. I'm excited. I'm excited for the cast, and oh yeah, they also bring back Sarah Michelle Gellar, Elijah Wood, Kevin Durant, David Cronenberg is also in this.
Yep.
Surprisingly, which threw me for a second, but yeah, like the cast is great. I'm excited for this. I don't know. It looks like it's going to be a fun time, and that's really what I'm here for. It's just insane kills, very weird characters, and just unique opportunities to tell a fun story.
I will say I loved the first movie. This is Radio Silence, who did Scream 5 and 6. They didn't return for this new one because they supported their star. They stood by her. But that first movie was such a blast. I never expected it to get a sequel because it wasn't like the biggest hit. It always felt more underrated. But I love that they've returned to this. It looks just as great. That cast is so good. Samara Weaving and Catherine Newton already kind of look alike, so casting them as sisters is perfect. But I'm just ready for more gore. The first movie was mixed the gore and the laughs very, very well. There's still moments that I remember from the first movie that if I think about, I just try not to laugh out loud just because it was just so good. And I'm very curious because the first movie had a lot of twists in it. I'm curious if this one will have some big twists as well, or if it will just be like a continuation. It's just still with like the demonic cult. But I'm excited.
It's probably going to be something where like, oh, the demonic cult is actually larger than we expect. It's not just this family. It's not only also these smaller families. It's actually a full blown like community. Like there's families around every country who have to partake in this thing, and they all have different games or whatever. I don't know. I'm giving stuff for future movies. I need to be hired. Somebody pay me.
I feel like
Seriously,
the sisters in on it. That's my only guess.
So, as the guy who hasn't watched the previous movie and who's not a huge horror guy, but I do love the Scream franchise, is this something that I would be able to get into?
It's not scary. It's more just splatter comedy.
So, is it kind of like a thriller instead of a horror movie? Like what's going on? Okay.
No, like jump scares or anything.
It's more of a thriller and also a little bit of I'd say a spoof of sorts. Like if you
kind of like Scream. Okay.
Yeah,
it's very
essentially, yeah, it's very Scream. Imagine the opposite of Home Alone. Like you are trapped with the sticky bandits and they're hunting you throughout the house.
Okay. That sounds fun.
Is,
Yeah. It's like the reason I don't enjoy horror is just that it's not my type of storytelling. It's not the blood or like the gore that bothers me. So like, if there's like a fun adventure within these Ready or Not movies, then yeah, I'm all for it. I'll definitely go back and watch the first one and then get ready to see this one.
Do you
So
know the
yeah,
concept of the first movie or like the log line?
I not really. I'm just picking up context clues from what you guys have been saying.
So pretty much, Samara Weaving's character, I believe she is engaged to her man, and they end up meeting his family. And she learns during the meeting of the family that everyone has to partake in this specific game of like cat and mouse, essentially. And Samara Weaving's the mouse, and everyone else in the family, including her fiance, are the cats. So pretty much, she has to try and survive them hunting her down, because if they need to do it, it's like a ritual they have to do every some odd years or something like that. And if they don't do it, things happen to them, et cetera, et cetera.
Interesting.
And you don't know if it's real or if it's not real. Like the whole movie, it keeps you kind of guessing. Even the characters, there's a scene where one of the family members is on his phone while he's hiding, and he's typing demonic cults, real or bullshit. And you see him looking that up on his phone. Like,
Okay, yeah, I'll definitely check these out because the trailer that we were watching here looks fun. We had the captions on. I know it was muted, but like just seeing what's going on in that trailer seems like it's a ton of fun, and it seems like it's the type of movie that I can get into as opposed to just like a regular slasher, you know?
Yeah, it's definitely comedy.
But I was gonna say, Mike, add the two of Catherine Newton's previous movies called Freaky and Abigail. Those are also spoofs of sort. Abigail is about a group of characters with Melissa Barrera as well in that. Abigail.
It's the same guys, same directors.
Yes, right. Thank you, Nate. I appreciate that. Same guys, same directors. Pretty much, Abigail has the same concept where they kidnap a little girl, they take her to a house, and it turns out that the little girl's a vampire, so they're trapped inside with her, and they have to try and get out. So like, it's a similar vein of like style of movies and whatnot. None of them they're like horror elements, but it's more so like slasher spoofs that are just a good time, funny, and very hilarious characters.
Nice. I'm down. We have to talk about our next project, and this is what I still am trying to wrap my head around. So Nate, can you explain the adventures of Cliff Booth?
Yes. So if you don't remember, Cliff Booth was Brad Pitt's character in Quentin Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And this is a sequel, or they say a spin-off of sorts. I don't know. But Tarantino isn't directing it. So if you remember, a few years back, he announced his final movie was going to be something called The Movie Critic. And then it was revealed that Brad Pitt would be back as Cliff Booth. And then he scrapped the movie. Brad Pitt was like, I still really want to do this. So he would talk to Quentin Tarantino. He was like, can I give this to David Fincher? And Quentin Tarantino was like, sure. And it's happening at Netflix, which David Fincher has his deal with. That's the only reason it's happening at Netflix. And this is supposed to take place 8 years later. So now in like the mid to late 70s of Cliff Booth. The cast is not as like star-studded as the original, but it does have Carla Gugino in it, and it has Yahya Abdul-Mateen. So we got them. Elizabeth Debicki is in this as well. We don't really know much of the plot, but again, I wish Tarantino wouldn't just stick with his 10 movie thing. Would have been great to see him do this. Yeah, but David Fincher is like the next best thing. He is one of our great American auteurs. I just talked about rewatching The Social Network, which is also getting a sequel this year. And it felt like I was wishing this on a monkey's paw, because The Social Network 2 is not being directed by David Fincher. It's being directed by Aaron Sorkin, who wrote the first movie. Right. But you know what? It's a fair trade to get Cliff Booth. I hope Netflix gives this a proper theatrical release. No, it won't be proper, but let it be seen in like middle America, please. Like I need to go out and see this on the big screen. I'm very excited. I love Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. It's one of the most rewatchable Tarantino movies, in my opinion. Like, that's a movie that just never, ever gets old for me. I know there's some people who aren't as high on it. I had a friend text me the other night. He's like, I think it's the worst Tarantino movie. And I'm like, you haven't seen Death Proof then. But it's so much fun. And Brad Pitt as Cliff Booth is such a great character that I just can't wait to see him reprise that role.
Cliff, you're a big Tarantino guy. How do you feel about this?
I don't know what's happening. Like, it's just such a random movie to make. Like I appreciate the character from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Arguably, probably one of the best characters in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
Well, to be fair, you only have like 3 that you really focus on throughout the entire movie. But I'm curious. I mean, I'm more so curious that David Fincher is directing. That's the part that has me the most interested. I'm like, Fight Club acclaim, and, Seven, Gone Girl. I'm like, so how dark is this going to be of a movie? So yeah, I'll wait to see it. Since it'll be on Netflix, I'll have plenty of time to watch it at some point. Maybe they'll give it a theatrical release and whatnot. Not even trying to be funny, just genuinely, maybe they will. Like, they do it sometimes with a few movies, like the Knives Out franchise and whatnot. So yeah, there's not much else besides like, I need a trailer. That's it.
Yeah. This film doesn't have a date just yet. I'm interested. Like you guys have been saying, it's a weird situation. I don't quite understand how we got here, but I'll check it out.
It's
so yeah,
in the summer, like late summer, because that's when the first Once Upon a Time in Hollywood came out. And I wouldn't be shocked if they dropped the teaser during the Oscars. Netflix has dropped like teasers at the Oscars. They did that with The Irishman. They also did it with Bright, your favorite movie, Mike. But I wouldn't be shocked because this was a big player at the Oscars a few years when it came out. So I would not be shocked because they are going to market this one, I think, more than they would for a usual kind of movie, especially with the hype around this. And it is a franchise movie. And we know Netflix is very hungry to have a franchise.
Do we think, and I'm not trying to like derail the conversation too much because this is very off topic, but do we think with Warner Brothers, if that goes through, will Netflix start to play nicer? Like, will they try and have their films promoted at the Oscars? Will they have more theatrical releases for these Netflix originals, right? Even if it's not under the WB banner, will they also give like their Netflix original movies like the 17-day release window in theaters going forward?
I think we're getting that with Narnia, kind of.
Yeah, Greta had to fight for that, though.
I know.
Which is insane.
I don't particularly know. It's very hard to say because they're changing their minds all the time with what they want to do with Warner Brothers. Mm-hmm. All they know is that they want it and they want the IP. But we've seen them expand in theaters more. Stranger Things just made a boatload of money, the finale, in theaters, even though it dropped simultaneously. So,
yeah,
maybe that will change their mind, especially that Cliff Booth is attached to an already well-known movie.
Right.
So it's not just like an original IP, it's this. I could see him giving this a little bit more, but at the same time, they don't really have to worry about it for a while because that deal between Netflix and Warner Brothers, it won't go into full effect, probably not this year. Probably won't be until 2027 or 2028.
Yeah, I think 2028 is probably realistic because it's got to get approval. We also have to see if they take this to court.
Yeah,
it's going to be a while.
And I think it also just depends on the project itself. Like, I don't even think Cliff Booth has enough like staying power. Like, Quentin Tarantino has enough staying power to put a Cliff Booth movie in theaters for Netflix. As much as I love, Quentin Tarantino's films and everything, I don't know if there's an audience for that specific character.
The character maybe, but do we think Brad Pitt still has enough staying power? I mean, we just saw F1, right?
F1 was a huge hit, but that was because of the motorsport. Because people comparing it to, Top
Bullet Train didn't do well, and I get it.
But like people weren't seeing that because it was Brad Pitt's Top Gun. They were seeing it because it was F1. And that was a smart move to name the movie F1 instead of something else, like Brad Pitt character in car.
Versus Dames and Ninjas.
Like,
yeah.
I love that movie, but it made money because of the motorsport. I think, if anything, they might do something similar to what they did with Glass Onion. Just because Ryan Johnson is already on the outs kind of with Netflix. So we don't know if... That's why Wake Up Dead Man didn't really have a wide release. They gave it a little bit of a push, but like it didn't play in an AMC theater. Versus this, I could see them giving this like the 1 week like limited release again, where it goes wide, just because David Fincher's like in Netflix's bag. He's the one prestige filmmaker who cares about film, who's also at the same time being like, I love Netflix. They're the future. And it's like really confusing, but you know what? He's a perfectionist, and he probably, he's around our dad's age, I would assume. He's probably just like, I don't like going to the theater anymore because phones. You know what? That's probably why he loves Netflix.
Give me the bag, man. That's all I asked for. I get it.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes, because that did deals and all that stuff. So 2026 will be a post Man of Tomorrow world. So we'll see how it goes and whatnot. So yeah.
Oh God, can you believe that Man of Tomorrow might be the last time we see Superman in theaters?
we just got him for 3 years straight. We just got a Superman family, and now it's about to be a Netflix exclusive. Like,
oh gosh, I don't want to think about that. So we're gonna move on. I'm gonna talk about The Devil Wears Prada 2 for a couple seconds here. I am unbelievably hyped for this movie, and I don't really know why. Like, I loved watching the original growing up. My mom watched this movie a ton. Basically, Miranda Priestley struggles against Emily Charlton, her former assistant turned rival executive, as they compete for advertising revenue amid declining print media while Miranda nears retirement. I'm here for Emily Blunt's character to get her lick back because she was treated like garbage in the first movie. So, and Anne Hathaway is back. We're doing good. Meryl Streep, the whole cast is back. I can't wait for this film. There's the credits right there. Academy Award winners across the board. It's so interesting to see how much their careers have changed since the first film. I know that Anne Hathaway was kind of on the outs in Hollywood at that shortly after that first movie. Like, she kind of just disappeared for a long time.
This year alone.
Yeah.
In theaters.
We're in the Renaissance here, and that's exciting. Yeah, I'm just here for more mess, man. I love fashion. I love mess, and The Devil Wears Prada 2 is right up my alley. Do you guys have any thoughts on this? Nate, I know you just watched the first one fairly recently.
It was 2 years ago now. You made me watch that. I love that.
It's been 2 years since that happened. Time is crazy.
I really enjoyed that first movie. And I remember right after I watched it, that's when they announced the sequel. And I remember texting you being like, we're so back.
We are so back. We're finally back.
The teaser for that was just so simple, was the most viewed movie trailer of last year.
Yeah, when we were making our list, I was saying, hey, I'm gonna grab a few blockbusters because I know we're gonna pick some of the smaller stuff. I'm like, let me get the blockbusters. And Cliff was like, it's crazy that The Devil Wears Prada is now considered a blockbuster franchise. But it is. And I don't know how I feel about that, but I'm here for it. I'm glad the word blockbuster isn't just Marvel movies anymore. I'm glad we're kind of evolving out of that. So that's fun.
I think Hollywood sees it as also just they need more female fronted blockbuster movies, because they do perform well. If you make movies for women, they will. If you make good movies for women, they're going to see it. And then we will as well, because it's Anne Hathaway and Emily Blunt and Meryl Streep. The first movie was a really good movie. And then the shitty boyfriend from the first movie is not back. So it's hell yeah.
We keep winning.
Whoa. Whoa, don't do that to him. Don't do that to my guy, okay? He is a great supporting character, okay? But
He's a good character, but he was a bad boyfriend. Let's be real.
Yeah.
If y'all want to have us do a whole video about the Devil Wears Prada review, drop it in the comments. We will do it.
We will do it. We will do it. We got to rant about this. But no, yeah, like I am just glad that it's evolving and we're not just going to like reset back to zero. A lot of sequels, especially like 20 years later, is going to be like, oh, things haven't really changed. Star Wars did this a lot, and to varying success of like, oh, the First Order is just the Empire again. And it's like, oh, okay, we're back to square one. I'm glad that these characters have evolved and their careers have changed, and it's acknowledging the change in media, right, as well. And the fact that we're balancing that, I want to see what they do with this. I'm very intrigued by it. Again, like I don't know if this is going to be like top 10 movies of the year, but this is definitely one of the ones I'm most excited to see. Like, I just want to see where they go with these characters, because this is a sequel I never expected to get. And so I'm hoping they just don't fumble. Get 5 yards, but don't fumble. That's all we ask for. Cliff, any thoughts on this one?
Oh, I have so many. This is going to be a cultural moment. Like, I am so excited. I can't wait, because like I always imagine, like, if I'm dating someone within the time for by May, we're like, babe, we have to see the Devil Wears Prada 2. Like, it is a must see. Like, we're going, But yeah, it's also directed by the same guy who directed the first one, David Frankel. So we get someone who has a relationship with this movie franchise already. And yeah, the cast. I mean, Meryl Streep, Anne Hathaway, who we all have crushes on since Princess Diaries, Simone Ashley. So like, you're getting someone else who also has a history with fashion, and not just from Bridgerton, but also just in their professional life, all the red carpets and events that they attend, the fashion runway shows. Emily Blunt's back. Stanley Tucci, my guy, who I always wanted to play Lex Luthor, because he is just a badass in everything. And I love how angry, and he just has a bravado that makes like, you're scared, but also just like, I want to see more of you, sir. And then like Kenneth Branagh is in it, BJ Novak, Lucy Liu is in this movie, Pauline Chalamet, and then Tracy Thomas, who was a part of the I believe the original Rent cast and whatnot, if I'm correct, is also in this and whatnot. So this is just, and it's coming out May 2nd, which, so like, they're banking this on like a weekend. Like, this is a summer movie.
It gets the Avengers release date, Cliff. Come on now.
Yeah. It is a blockbuster. It is crazy to say. Like, that's insane. Like, literally, it comes out on a Saturday. So chances are it'll come out on a Friday, May 1st, realistically, and whatnot. Yeah. So like, they're banking heavy on this. I'm excited for it. I'm about to buy tickets for my whole family. Like, hey, we're going. I will buy out the theater if need be, just to see this movie. That's how much I love the first movie and whatnot. So I'm excited. It's going to be a great time.
Cliff is giving us the Hinge prompt that we have to put on our profiles and just say, looking for someone to watch the Devil Wears Prada 2 with May 1st.
What's your idea of perfect date? Well, we go do this, that, then we see this movie.
This specific movie.
This very specific movie. Oh gosh. No, yeah, I can't wait. This is gonna be fun. That's entering summer blockbuster season, by the way. We've entered May 1st with the Devil Wears Prada. The next movie that we're going to talk about also, again, doesn't really have a release date. It's kind of like tentatively set for June. Cliff, talk to us about Godzilla.
Godzilla Minus Zero, people. This is such a unique movie, I feel. It wasn't announced until like November of last year, of 2025. So it's still relatively fresh in our minds that we are getting a sequel. And it's also very interesting that this is getting a sequel, because if anyone has seen Shin Godzilla from 2015, that ending teased that there might have been a potential sequel, but it never happened. So my like nerd theory brain is thinking that maybe they're taking whatever idea they had for that movie and doing that with this new film. But yeah, it's going to be directed by Takashi Yamazaki. It is the sequel to the spectacular Godzilla Minus One, which, for those of you who have not seen it, Godzilla Minus One is one of the best Godzilla films of this century. It's beautiful. It's Mike is showing clips of it right now, the trailer. But yeah, if you have not had a chance to see this, check it out. It's on Netflix right now. I say watch this and watch the black and white version, the minus color version. It's a phenomenal, I guess you can say, sort of like soft reboot, soft retelling of what makes the King of Kaiju so interesting and such a unique character. This is also the 39th film in the Godzilla franchise as a whole. It's the 34th film by Toho specifically. So it's crazy to think that we are reaching number 40 for a character who just started off as being an allegory for atomic war and just, how that can really devastate a population and a group of people and all that stuff. So I'm excited for this. Principal photography was said to be done by December. We don't know if there's any reshoots or anything, but as far as we know right now, they've made the movie, they shot it. Supposedly it's coming out around June, but there's no official date for that just yet, which also that would be crazy. Another like a foreign Godzilla movie coming out at the heart of summertime, at least here in America, that would be such a badass thing for them to do and whatnot. So I'm excited for this. Mike, I know you haven't seen it yet. Nate, I believe you've seen -1, right?
Yeah, I own it on 4K. I love that movie.
You and I haven't talked about it yet, okay? I just had to make sure. Okay.
I love that movie so much. And it's the one kind of the thing that holds it up over these the MonsterVerse movies is you care about those human characters too. Like they made their story so compelling, and they even teased up at the end of that for the human characters that you're interested to know for this new one. I mean, that first movie was so great, and it was the first Godzilla movie to win an Oscar as well for visual effects. It was made for $15 million and translated to our currency. And it's still
just 1 second, Nate. 1 second. Kevin, I know you're still listening. $15 million made a Godzilla movie. Why did Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania cost $400 million? Go ahead, Nate. I'm sorry.
You're good. That movie was just so much fun. It was so entertaining, and it was also surprisingly like emotional as well. Like it was evil Godzilla. We've seen him be a hero so many times in the MonsterVerse movies, and even this was my first introduction besides the original Gojira, the original Toho movie. I hadn't seen any of the Japanese movies. I've only seen the original. I haven't seen Shin Godzilla. So this movie was like breath of fresh air to me.
I was gonna say I haven't seen the original movie. I think it was because I didn't watch it at the time. I was burnt out because we had the MonsterVerse, and those aren't good.
No.
And so the fact that this one's good, go ahead, defend the MonsterVerse.
I will defend the first one and King of the Monsters. Everything else after that, no. I love you, Kong. You're great. I love your movie in that universe, but make it do better than you, my guy. And to make it even more funny, this movie Zero is supposed to come out this year. Next year we get the next movie in the MonsterVerse in 2027.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be there for that. No, but yeah, like this is one that's always been on the list. You guys saying that the human characters are important is everything I want from the MonsterVerse. So this is the movie that I need to watch. The first one. I'm also gonna watch in time for the second one. Yeah, it's one of those things where when you fall behind and you miss like a modern movie, you kind of need an excuse to go back. So now I have the excuse to go back and go check this one out. I'll probably watch it probably later this week. And so yeah, I'm excited for the sequel. Like everything I heard of the previous film, glowing reviews. The idea of the release date being in June, I do want to just like put the disclaimer: if it releases in June in Japan, we might not get it until like September here. I don't know if they're gonna do a day and date release for North America.
I don't know.
They typically don't.
For us, the first one of 2023. Okay. So maybe it might come around then. Even.
Yeah. So even though like it's undated, but rumors are suggesting it's probably going to be summer. That might be summer Japan. That might not be necessarily for us. So I just want to make sure we put that out there. So somebody's like, "Where's this movie? It's June 25th." And it's like, sorry, my guy. But yeah, like I love a good Godzilla movie. Godzilla is one of those mainstays in cinema, right? Like you were saying before, we're approaching 40 movies here. Yeah, I've seen most of the films. I haven't seen the Shin Godzilla. So I might have to do a little Godzilla adventure. Godzilla's going to be my most watched actor instead of Tom Cruise this year. In my Letterboxd.
I'm excited for both of you. My goodness. As someone who watched all 33 movies in 1 year, y'all have an adventure
That's
ahead
a
of you.
lot of monster movies, Cliff. How did you survive that?
So to be fair, I started in January and I watched one movie like every Friday and
Okay.
whatnot. Yeah, so I spaced it out enough to the point where literally I watched Godzilla Minus One like New Year's Eve of 2024. And when I saw like I timed it perfectly and whatnot. But when you committed, you're committed. Okay. And to go back to the release date thing, the original release date in Japan, specifically at the Shinjuku Toho building, which was very like prominent building for Toho and like their movie
Mm-hmm.
business and all that stuff. They dropped it in October 18th. Then it went countrywide for Japan around November 3rd, 2023. Then it dropped in America like in December that
Yep.
following month and whatnot.
Yeah.
So it was a relatively small release date. So if it does drop in June again, we can confirm or deny that that is official. That's just a rumor, for lack of a better way of saying it. So if it came out in June, chances are we might get it in July, maybe August and whatnot. So
If that's true, July is stacked.
Yeah.
Oh man. We do have the release date for the next movie we want to talk about. I'm not even gonna say
Spielberg.
it. I'm just
Spielberg.
Yeah.
Disclosure Day. This is
There you go.
a new movie from the king, the master, the goat. This is his latest film, and he's returning to the summer blockbuster to reclaim his crown. Well, probably second crown, because we are also getting a movie we'll probably talk about in a little bit that will probably also rule the summer. But this is a new UFO movie, kind of in the spirit of Close Encounters of the Third Kind, more so than E.T. or even War of the Worlds. The Tom Cruise one, not the Ice Cube one.
It's you.
This with Emily Blunt is the lead. We also got Josh O'Connor, Coleman Domingo, Colin Firth, Wyatt Russell, Elizabeth Marvel. Great cast. Eve Hewson as well. And we don't know really much about the plot. They released a teaser. We don't know. We just saw Emily Blunt making weird alien clicking noises. But Josh O'Connor is teaming up with her to expose the truth. To full disclosure, it looks like there's almost like a hive mind kind of thing, shout out Pluribus, going on where they're going to try to make it all at once, so it's just like common knowledge. It looks awesome. There's a shot in the trailer of a car, yeah, that one, that just also looks sick and peaks Spielberg. You know, I'm just excited. I love Spielberg is on a winning streak again. His last two movies were West Side Story and The Fabelmans, which were, to me, two of the best of the modern era of Spielberg. And to see him going back to making a blockbuster, an original blockbuster with David Koepp, a guy who I've had the pleasure of talking to a number of times, who he worked with on multiple movies, including the original Jurassic Park and War of the Worlds with Tom Cruise. See him writing this script is also really, really promising. I am very, very, very excited for this. I'll let you guys continue talking. If I have something to say, I will jump back in. But I'm gonna try to
Talk with your camera a little bit, and yeah, we'll keep talking. I forgot the minion face. That's great. So yeah, Disclosure Day. Everything Nate said, I'm here for it. I'm excited for a Spielberg original movie. Like it's been a minute. Like was West Side Story the last movie he did, Nate? Okay,
No,
West Side Story.
no,
I haven't seen The Fabelmans, so I need to watch The Fabelmans. But West Side Story was great. I can't wait for this one. I just love a good alien movie, you know, and like I want to see Spielberg's like take on it. It's been a minute since he's done sci-fi, so the cast is phenomenal. Emily Blunt, of course, we just were talking about Devil Wears Prada 2, so seeing her tackle sci-fi like a couple months later is going to be really exciting. What are your thoughts on this one, Cliff? Because we did just get the teaser trailer like a few weeks ago.
You know, I'm curious about this. As y'all know from previous recordings that we did, I'm somewhat new to Spielberg's films to some degree. Like I've never seen one of his movies in theaters, so that's what I'm really excited about. But I grew up watching Tom Cruise's War of the Worlds and all that stuff, the Jurassic Park films. But like, I wasn't really checking out Steven Spielberg through most of my life, and what
Yeah.
have you. So I've been slowly getting through more of his stuff. I think the Indiana Jones films are my favorite of his. Saving Private Ryan, Catch Me If You Can, all those films. So I'm excited for this. I like that Steven Spielberg is coming back to a sci-fi realm to some degree. And I'm very excited that this is an original. I'm also excited that David Koepp, that Nate mentioned, is writing this. He wrote Black Bag, which is one of my favorite movies of last year. It's just
I just
really
watched that
solid,
last night. Great movie.
amazing, right? Just beautiful, like 90-minute spy thriller. No action at all. It's just great writing, character, and conversation. I'm just like, I've seen that
Yep.
movie like 4 times. It's beautiful. So if these two are partnering up, I'm all for it. Also, I'm curious if this is like like small Emily Blunt like renaissance of some sort, of the year. Yeah, you're better, Nate. We can see it now.
Thank you.
But yeah, I'm curious if like Emily Blunt is now kind of coming back into the the uh the world, because I can't think of
Yeah.
a better way of saying it. She's coming back to
She's
her
stepping
face
back into the
into the
front, the
spotlight.
forefront.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah,
great.
so like I'm really curious for that. And then again, Colin Firth, Coleman Domingo, U.S. Soldier is in this, so I'm really curious to see what he's going to be doing and whatnot. But remember how I mentioned earlier with Glenn Powell that I'm somewhat trying to keep up with who Hollywood is saying is really good, especially white male actors. Josh O'Connor is my favorite right now. Every movie
He's
this
so
dude has been in is amazing. Ever since I saw him in Challengers, I've been watching every one of his movies since. So anything he's in, my guy, I'm here. You working with Spielberg too? Sign me up.
Yeah.
I'm there.
He was so good in Wake Up Dead Man, and then he was in 2 smaller movies also. The Kelly Reichardt movie, The Mastermind. He's really good in that. And then this kind of small drama with Weapons star Amy Madigan, Cole, and my wife Megan Fahey, Rebuilding, and he's
Nate,
really good in that
can we
movie.
pause for a second? You have multiple wives, okay? That's what I was going to ask. Can we put Nate's like Gooner list of 2025 as well? Like, who does Nate think will be hot in this Hollywood season?
Nate Jr. list. I mean, like I said, that teaser was so good. I'm very just excited. Like, this movie has been kept super top secret. I'm so terminally online when it comes to Spielberg that like I saw like conspiracy theories with people being like, this movie's actually gonna release full disclosure to the public. Spielberg is trying to bring the truth to the people. And I'm like, hell yeah, conspiracy theorists. You're worshiping Spielberg as the king he is.
I kind of want that to be true, just for the messiness and chaos. Like, yeah, I'm with y'all. I agree. Something's popping off on June. Real quick, let me ask both of y'all a question.
Yeah.
And audience, also let us know if y'all would like us to do this. How do y'all feel about First Contact film as a whole? We have Disclosure Day coming out. We have, I guess you can count, what's the movie
Project
with
Hail
Emily
Mary?
Blunt? Yes, Project Hail Mary. What's the movie with Emily Blunt and her husband John Krasinski joined? It's kind of a horror movie, which is kind of First Contact, but not necessarily.
Oh, A Quiet Place?
Yeah, Quiet Place to some
Wouldn't
like
say
they have contact, but it's not
Arrival,
Yeah, Arrival, Signs, I guess, is also a little bit like that. How do y'all feel about those films? I'm personally, I like them. I would like more, but I at least want one every like 2 years and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, just off of the ones that you've named, I'm like, yeah, all of those are bangers. So like, this isn't a genre I thought that like, oh yeah, I really enjoy this genre of film, and I think we're about to talk about a superhero movie, so I feel like it's a good time for me to mention this. I feel like a lot of superhero movies and like action movies kind of take for granted the wonder and amazement of like aliens and like space as a whole. So like getting a movie like The Martian or getting something like the Project Hail Mary, it's like Interstellar, it gives us this perception of space in and of itself and how amazing it is, right? And how grand it is, right? And so it gives it that level of gravitas, I think, that gets lost in like Guardians of the Galaxy, where we're zipping across space and we're zipping across the galaxy. Every other scene, we're going to a different planet, and it's just like a different planet. In like a Star Wars movie, it's just a different location. Whereas a movie like Arrival, right, meeting an alien life form is the plot of the movie. Whereas some of these other stories, I still love them. This is not a knock on those genres. They're just different. It's a different approach. Like meeting an alien in Supergirl feels like an everyday occurrence. Meeting an alien in Disclosure Day is a big deal. And I just kind of like how we can step back and look at these films objectively. It's like, hey, if an alien showed up today in our lives, that would be groundbreaking news. Yeah. And I'm glad that we have a genre of films that can kind of like lean into that and make us think about these things differently. I think it's just a different perspective, and I appreciate that from First Contact movies.
Yeah. Arrival, I think this movie kind of looks like a more action-oriented kind of take on Arrival. We know Spielberg with aliens, besides the Tom Cruise War of the Worlds, like it can portray aliens as creepy, but like they could be just well-meaning or like observers. And that's kind of what I think this is probably going to lean into. I don't think it's going to be it's going to be tense. It's going to be freaky. But at the end, it's probably going to be like these aliens aren't like friendly or evil. Yeah. And that's kind of what Arrival did as well. I mean, which was a really sweet story as well. And I mean, I'm just excited to see Spielberg do action again in a cool way. He's the GOAT. I'm pumped.
Yeah, and to piggyback off of that, it might not even be like his Close Encounters of the Third Kind, where it's very like explorative and we don't see the alien. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen the movie until like the very end of the movie.
Yeah.
When I like before that, it's just a lot of like atmospheric work and like really good like set design and just sound design for implying that the aliens are around and all that stuff. So I can't be excited for a Spielberg movie. Wow.
That's where, like you were just saying, like atmosphere, right? That's where I feel like a lot of modern movies kind of lack sometimes. Where it's like, again, I was just watching Terminator, and we don't see like the Terminator's like design until like late in that film. It's just Arnold Schwarzenegger just kind of like being menacing, but you feel like the dark, gritty nature of that story. And we cut to the future every once in a while. A future that's very close, by the way. That was traumatizing, seeing that 2029 is very soon. But atmosphere is just something that I feel like a lot of modern stories just like don't put enough time in and enough effort in. And so the fact that Disclosure Day, because Spielberg's the GOAT and he's been around the block for a while and he knows how to capture those feelings, I'm excited for it. I am going to take a second to talk about Supergirl. Woman of Tomorrow is what it was called because it was based off of the Tom King book, but now we just dropped it to Supergirl. This is following Kara Zor-El. Let me get this trailer up. There we go. We're following Kara Zor-El, played by Millie Alcock. On her 23rd birthday, she's traveling the cosmos, going to bars, drinking. We see that at the end of Superman. She runs into this girl named Ruthie, and Ruthie wants revenge for her father. And Kara essentially takes up this quest, and they go on a murderous adventure where she's kind of a bounty hunter. We run into Lobo, who's going to be played by Jason Momoa, who's not reprising his role as Aquaman in the DCU. This is directed by Craig Gillespie. There you go, right there on screen, right on time. This is the first DCU movie, first DCU project not directed by James Gunn. And that in and of itself gets me excited. But strangely enough, this movie also looks like a James Gunn movie. And I don't know how I feel about that. I loved Woman of Tomorrow. It's written by Tom King. Cliff and I love Tom King's work with Mr. Miracle, and the Supergirl book was a ton of fun. Nate, I want to ask you though, because you did read Woman of Tomorrow.
I did.
How you feel about this trailer? Does it live up to what that book set up?
I mean, it looks like I saw something recently being like, it's not a direct adaptation. I'm like, no, comic book movie is. I wasn't really expecting that. Yeah. I think my only thing was like the color scheme was a little bit off, and that book is so colorful, but I love that book so much. I think Craig Gillespie is a really reliable filmmaker as well. Usually he's kind of movies. I, Tonya is awesome. And then like Cruella was way better than it had any right to be. I mean, I like him a lot, and it does just feel very James Gunny. As I was reading that comic, I'm like, this already kind of has like a Guardians kind of feel to it. at least to me, at least. Like it's dark, it's emotional, but so is Guardians of the Galaxy 3. And like I kind of got those vibes from this as well. So I mean, it is weird that this is the first non-gun project in the DCU. But at the same time, I'm excited. Millie Alcock is such a great actress. This is probably her announcement really as a movie star. She's very charismatic. She was really good last year in the show Sirens on Netflix. It was her, Megan Fahey, again, and Julianne Moore. She was really great on House of the Dragon as well. And then her cameo in Superman. There was like people complaining. It's like that's how she is in the comics. We first meet her and she's drunk as shit. Like, I'm very excited. I like the trailer. I mean, it's hard for me to hate something that has Blondie kind of playing in the background. Like, you could have put any Blondie song, and I would have been like, hell yeah, here we go. And it's kind of perfect. She's also blonde, natural blonde. But yeah.
Yeah. I think the combination of the Blondie needle drops, I mean, it is a trailer, so we don't know if that's reflective of the movie. I think the reason that I'm a little off-put about this is that, you're right, color-wise, it's very grimy, I think our friend Joel said when this trailer dropped, and that's something that's not really present in the book. And then we've got the villain Krem, who looks like a Ravager. If you guys have read the book, he's just kind of a dude with like a red goatee, red beard, no shirt. Yeah, he's very simple in his design. It gives more Hobbit like fantasy, and this is giving more like Guardians. Space sci-fi Guardians, right? Very, very different tone. Not a bad tone. I want to keep that clear. I am excited for this movie. It is just also going in a different direction than I anticipated. But I'm excited to see what the first non-gun DCU title looks like, because we're getting two. We're getting Clayface a little bit later. We'll talk about that soon. But Cliff, what are your thoughts on the Supergirl trailer that we got and this movie as a whole coming up?
I'm excited. I'm all for the super family renaissance that's happening in front of us before Netflix takes over and whatnot. So it's a beautiful moment. I'm curious to see what they're going to do with this. As y'all both mentioned, the first non-James Gunn movie, even though it has those vibes of his previous films. But I'm more so trusting Craig Gillespie and the writer for this film. Is it the same woman who is writing Teen Titans as well? Hold on, let me.
Yeah, it's written by Anna Nogueira. She wrote Supergirl. She is writing Teen Titans and Wonder Woman.
Yes,
now.
Okay. She's writing those three. She's become almost like James Gunn's like protege. It feels like, because her script, they didn't even initially plan to have this be the second movie. It was just the script was turned in the soonest, and it was really good. I think it needed like the fewest like edits. And they're
This is a big point in time though, right? Because if this movie is great, awesome. If this movie is bad, and she is writing Teen Titans and Wonder Woman, it's risky. I'm rooting for her, James Gunn trusts her. So like I'm not concerned by it, but like this is a pivotal point in the DCU's young history where it's like this can make or break them pretty much.
I think it'll turn out decent. I trust James Gunn's instincts now.
Yeah.
I agree. Like, I trust Anna. Like, hey, you got the job. You're doing something right. Shout out to you. You're doing what a lot of us want to do. So hats off to her. And again, I also trust Greg Gillespie. Tanya, I haven't seen the Emma Stone Cruella movie yet. I just keep forgetting to watch it and whatnot. But I dug Tanya and whatnot, so I'm like, okay, cool. I've seen how you've handled directing female characters. I'm more so curious about visually. Like, I have a feeling they're going to change the color grading a little bit by the time this movie comes out, because there's also just the first trailer. So I'm sure they are still working on visual effects even to this day, and working on that color grading everything. So I feel like we might get something completely different in terms of visuals that at least has more homage to the comic and whatnot. So, but yeah, I'm excited. I dig Supergirl. I love Kara. I'm excited that she's the next character that's getting a film or project in this universe and whatnot. Like again, it bodes well that like at least James Gunn and Peter Safran, I believe that's the other co-head of
Yep.
DC Studios. I believe it seems like both of them are both just like, hey, we are committed to getting different characters out there, getting characters who arguably don't have that much time, even though we got Supergirl in the Arrowverse and everything like that. But she hasn't had a movie in so many years, and I think starting off with Supergirl is a great way to keep this universe going. I think it's a smart character to also just introduce and whatnot because it will set the stage for other characters to come in the future. And also, I can't wait to see what Lobo like. That's truly why I'm here. Like, I can't wait to see my main man just on his motorbike with the big skull and everything. Yeah, I hope this is truly like a fun like sci-fi western, you know, where Kara and the little girl, they go on their revenge tour. They run into Lobo, who's also somewhat of a bounty hunter and all that stuff. So I just hope it's a fun movie. That's all I'm asking for.
Yeah, it's giving True Grit. It's giving The Last of Us, and putting Kara in that situation where she's like Joel Miller, I think is very interesting.
Especially when she's at such a low place right now, because we know she's got trauma. So who knows what she's dealing with personally in this world? Like, it's going to expand so much about Krypton and Kryptonians and what their belief system was and how she's coping with everything that's happened to her.
And coming off of Superman, it's going to be really interesting how we tackle Kryptonian history and lore and the legacy of all of that. You know, like the first movie was originally titled Superman Legacy, but like this movie is really going to tell us the legacy of Krypton because Kara lived it. And it looks like from the trailer, we're going to get flashbacks to it. So it'll be interesting to see how we handle that, especially going into Man of Tomorrow the following year and Brainiac, and how all this like the super family stories kind of tie together.
I do want more movies to also think about like color palettes. As you mentioned, it looks a little grimy. I do wish when we come to like we also mentioned for films like Interstellar, Disclosure Day, and all that stuff, emphasizing this idea of like first contact with aliens and just making space very interesting. I also hope movies get back to making space also visually interesting, like. And I'm talking like, our Starship Trooper kind of days where we were on other planets and like colors just pop, things were vibrant, the blood, the ooze, the goo, aliens were just beautiful. So I hope that we slowly get back to that kind of storytelling as well with space films.
Yeah, I want to, since we're here, I'm just going to do this right quick. I want everybody just to acknowledge how bright and vibrant every page of Supergirl is. And so when we get that like kind of dark and grimy and gritty aesthetic, it doesn't feel like the book. And I know it's not going to be a 1-to-1 to the book, but it's like, come on, turn the saturation up a little bit, please. And again, like you were saying, Cliff, this could be something that they fix and post. Like, we are still, 7 months away from this movie coming out. They have time. But again, first impressions are everything. And the first impression was like, oh, we're still making space look like this. And I'm not a huge fan of that. But, Christopher Nolan. Let's talk about it.
Okay, people. We might spend a good 30 minutes just talking about this one movie.
This is the rest of the show, probably. So buckle up.
Like, share, subscribe for part 2 of the rest of this video. But yeah, people, Christopher Nolan, a little indie director who directed the Dark Knight trilogy, Oppenheimer, Inception. His next big project is the Odyssey by Homer, which is one of the classic pieces of literature. It's, if you haven't read it, read it. Depending on what school you went to, you probably have had to read it and whatnot. It's the story about Odysseus and his whole trek to get back to his wife and whatnot. Yeah, Christopher Nolan's directing this. I'm excited. I just finished reading this book maybe. Wow, it's been 2 months since I finished reading the Odyssey. It took me a whole year to finish it. But yeah, I'm excited. One of the things I've been asking from Christopher Nolan is that he does something else outside of sci-fi. Like all of his movies have been related to science to some degree. So him doing such a big shift and going to fantasy epic as the Odyssey is right up my alley. It's what I've asked for. It's such a big swing from him, I feel, and I can't wait to see it. And then just think about the cast. Matt Damon as Odysseus, Tom Holland as Telemachus, Elliot Page, Robert Pattinson as Anton. I always butcher this man's name, Antonus. I always
Yep.
butcher it. Zendaya as Athena, Anne Hathaway as Penelope. Which again, shout out to Anne Hathaway. She's just in movie after movie this year, and I think we all understand Matt Damon's Odyssey is trying to get back to her. Like, it's fair. I will spend 10 years as well traveling back. Mia Goth.
I would have done it in one. Rookie numbers.
Well, see, when Charlize Theron is also Cersei, what are you going to do? And she traps you. Like, it's very difficult. You know, it takes a lot of time. You need Athena and Zeus to tell her, like, hey, it's time for me to go. You need to release this man and whatnot. But the cast is just stacked. Cosmo Jarvis, Hamish Patel, John Leguizamo, Corey Hawkins, Lupita Nyong'o. I'm excited. I will try to see this in 70 millimeter, I guess, second weekend, because the tickets for it are sold out opening weekend. So, yeah, what y'all whack poetic. We're all excited for this. So, there's nothing else I could add to it, honestly.
Nate, go.
It's not historically accurate. No, I just that discourse already. It's like, it looks cool. Give me a break. Yeah, this movie's gonna be awesome. I
love the crowd that's saying it's not historically accurate. It's like, there's a Cyclops. What are we talking about?
Yeah, but
there are gods with like
right, like
there's Scylla's, there are sea creatures, mermaids. Like, stop it.
It's not like it's like Gladiator 2, where like the trailer played like Kanye, Jay-Z and Kanye in it. Like they kept it pretty close. I mean, I'm pumped. The trailer was great. But especially the prologue that played before Avatar was just exceptional. Like,
I didn't get a chance to see that because it never made it online, did it?
No.
I mean, it may have leaked, but I didn't see the leak.
You had to see Avatar.
I did see Avatar and saw that and Thor. Well, we'll get to that later.
But I mean,
I'll go see Avatar and walk out. That was my plan initially.
That prologue was so good. It was so tense, and it still had Nolan's touches with just like the tense atmosphere and like a ticking clock almost. Almost similar to like Dunkirk, because it was the Trojan horse scene. We also got a better look at what the Cyclops is going to look like in that.
Oh, nice
prologue. They show like an actual shot of it. It looked pretty sick. I'm pumped. I mean, this is probably going to be like, I would imagine this is going to be Nolan's longest movie.
We're just coming off of Oppenheimer too, man.
This is a long book, though. This could have been like 2 movies.
I'm shocked. Do we think this is gonna do like Dune did, where it's gonna be at the end, the Odyssey Part 1, and we get left on a cliffhanger? Do we think that's a possibility?
In 2 parts. I think the only reason they did it with Dune was because it wasn't like a sure thing. Versus this, it's Christopher Nolan. None of his movies have ever flopped.
Yeah.
Tenet was not. That was COVID. Like, his movies always perform. I think they would have shot them back to back. But still, I mean, I'm just thrilled about this movie. That cast is so freaking stacked as well. And just to see Nolan completely go all the way back in time is really exciting to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, messing with fucking historical accuracy. There's a Cyclops.
This is not a historical like story. That's what's so funny to me. Right. The Odyssey, you guys know that fantasy is my favorite genre. And so getting the Odyssey by Chris Nolan, coming off of a Best Director Oscar win.
Best Picture.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I can't wait for this movie. There's nothing that I can add to what you guys have already said, really. Like, I'm just excited to see a new fantasy movie, like big budget fantasy movie. It feels like we don't really get those outside of like when we get The Hobbit. I think How to Train Your Dragon was probably like the last like pure fantasy movie that we've gotten. I'm excited to see what Nolan brings to the story. I want to see what changes he makes. I want to see, like you said, the runtime of this thing. It feels like it has to be 4 hours, but I'm sure he's going to try and get this to like 3:30 at max. I don't know if he can go much longer than that. yeah, like there's just not much I can add to what you guys have already said. So I'm gonna shut up and just say I can't wait for this. Go. Sorry.
Which is funny because I said there was nothing else I could add in the beginning of this, which is hilarious. Um, but yeah, specifically to the runtime, I'm surprised. I feel like it would be better if we did like two parts. Like if this movie is 4 or 5 hours, sure, whatever. There's going to be intermission. Cool, fine, that's great. But like, there's 24 poems of this entire epic. I'm just like,
Yeah.
what are you going to cut out? Because at one point, when I was reading the book, I was just like, why am I reading this? And it's not until like 4 poems, 5 poems later, I'm like, oh, this is why. Okay, so there actually is meaning for every single part within this series. So I'm curious to see
Yeah.
what he's going to leave out, what he decides to add as well. And also, if anything, I think Ludwig's film score is going to take this to the top.
Oh
Like,
gosh, I forgot about Ludwig.
yeah, exactly. That's why I wanted to add more. I was like, we're not even talking about who the composer is in this movie. I'm just like,
That's gonna be an out of body experience.
Oh, the moment I hear like timpani and just violins, it's going to be insane. Um, and also, I'm curious to see what happens like post this Odyssey, because now, since I'm guessing this is still part of English literature in middle school and high school. I'm guessing, I don't know. But if it is, I can easily see if this movie ends up being really great. Like, hey, no, we're just going to show this version of the Odyssey after reading the book in class and whatnot. So,
for sure,
there's a lot of potential for this movie.
There's so much potential. The cast is great. Tom Holland had a quote that will always stick with me. Like, he's been making nothing but like Russo brothers and Marvel movies for the majority of his career, and he's like, it was so great, like being on set and having everything be practical, and like he can interact with things because Spider-Man shot on blue screen 90% of the time, and it's just the care and like the craftsmanship of a Nolan movie, especially Nolan tackling a fantasy movie, is going to be so interesting. um I'm excited, and it looks like Matt Damon, like this might be his best performance in years. Like he seems locked in, and that's exciting.
And I'm excited for Zendaya playing Athena because I'm really curious how they're going to tackle her character, who's like such a pivotal supporting character throughout the entire book. You know, she arguably starts the entire story. And when I'm just like, yes, my girl. Like the fact that this whole cast is working with Christopher Nolan still boggles my mind. It's like, how did y'all make this happen? Like, what conversation? Like, Tom, how did you get Telemachus? Were you there like, yo, my fiance, you need Athena? You've seen challenges. You've seen what she can already do. Let's just make it happen, right? So I'm just like, or maybe it was the other way. Maybe Zendaya got Athena first, and then she was like, hey, Tom, audition, do what you need to do, and whatnot. So I'm just ready for this movie.
The Odyssey is going to be an event. It's going to be the event of the summer, or maybe the second event of the summer, because Spider-Man is back.
Another Tom Holland, John Bernthal vehicle.
Right?
And Zendaya.
And Zendaya. It's crazy. So we've got Spider-Man returning. It's been a long time. I'm honestly shocked how long it's been since Spider-Man No Way Home. Hold on. I'm running the whole show here. So let me get this picture pulled up, because we don't have a trailer for Spider-Man. All we know is that Destin Daniel Cretton is going to be directing. You know, Destin from Shang-Chi. He's also set up to do the Naruto movie after Spider-Man. So we'll see how that turns out. But this is going to take us back to street level Spidey. Tom Holland returns. Sadie Sink joins the cast. We still don't know the role she's going to play. Mark Ruffalo returns as Bruce Banner and the Hulk. And like Nate said, John Bernthal is going to be playing the Punisher. We don't know how all of this comes together, but I love Shang-Chi. I love that Tom Holland is like very enthusiastic about it. We're going in a different direction from the home trilogy. We're going to a new trilogy of movies, the college era of Spider-Man, we assume. It's a brand new day. And I want to see how we pick up from where we left off with No Way Home, of Spider-Man giving up everything. Nobody remembers who Peter Parker is, and like him finding a new life. How does that all come together? How does Zendaya's character fit into this? There's rumors of her and a new boyfriend showing up in this movie. Shout out to Paul. Can't wait for him to wreck lives.
No, Paul.
But I'm interested to see because it sounds like Sadie Sink might be playing an antagonist. So, Nate, I'm gonna toss it to you. How you feeling about Spider-Man?
I like Spider-Man. I'm just playing through Spider-Man 2 on my computer, on my PC right now, so it's like I'm here Spider-Man pilled. And I love the Home trilogy. I know there's people who complain about it. I've always enjoyed it. I've always enjoyed Tom Holland as Spider-Man. I'll say it. I've said it many times before, and I will say it again as loud as I can. I'm more excited for this than I am for Avengers Doomsday. And I think
this actually feels like a real movie. Doomsday feels like I don't know what.
This, I also think, is going to make more money than Doomsday. Like without a doubt. I'm just excited for this. I love that we're bringing the rumors because my two favorite Marvel characters have always been Spider-Man and the Hulk. So, and that we're going to get like, there's rumors it could be Savage Hulk back, some kind of mind control thing, possibly from the Sadie Sink character. To see that happen is also just very, very, very exciting. Tremel Tillman from our beloved Mr. Milkshake from Severance. He's also in this movie, possibly playing a villain. We get Tombstone in this movie.
We do.
We get Scorpion back. We're probably finally going to see him in that Scorpion suit.
As an avid fan of the Spectacular Spider-Man animated series, this is a dream. The big man might be the main villain. I'm here for it.
My guess is Sadie Sink is playing Screwball.
There are rumors that she's playing like Jean Grey, and like this is a backdoor X-Men thing, and I don't know. I don't know if I buy that.
Too easy of a choice.
Yeah.
And also, does Sadie Sink want to commit to another franchise after having just done Stranger Things for however many years?
Money. Marvel money.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure that Disney money, that check is nice. I'm sure it's beautiful and whatnot. But yeah, I'm curious. I've been asking for a story where Peter Parker's in college. We are post high school and like actually living his life. Spider-Man 2 and 3, and then Amazing Spider-Man 2 does it, but it's not really an emphasis to some degree. You know, I want Peter Parker in college. I want him working. I want him struggling to pay his bills. I want all that and what have you. So I'm with Nate. I think I'm more excited for this than Avengers, which in my case isn't really saying much and whatnot. But I am curious to see what they do with this new version of Spider-Man. I'm curious to see who the villains are. I don't like that my boy Crondon is just being cast as indestructible, like head, like Kingpin type characters. You know, like he's great at it. Shout out to his role in Black Lightning, but like it's the second time y'all did it. I don't like it. He's more than this and what have you. But yeah.
I feel like Tombstone is because Sony can't use Kingpin. I'm pretty sure that's like a contractual thing where Kingpin can't appear in Sony projects. Yeah. I read that somewhere. I'm not entirely sure. I feel like because Marvel and Sony are collabing, they should be able to like amend that a little bit, but you know, contract stuff.
And also, who's the actor who plays Kingpin?
Vincent D'Onofrio.
Vincent D'Onofrio. Who knows? Maybe he also might want to get paid a lot as well. Because I think that's also another thing a lot of people always forgets. Like, yeah, we got studio stuff, but also there's actor stuff. It's just like we don't know what he wants out of it. Maybe it doesn't align as well. But
yeah.
But that definitely could be an insert that he's for Tombstone. And like, since they don't have Kingpin, we'll give them this. Tremel Tillman, great. Mark Ruffalo, I don't know why you're in this. Like, just give us a old man Hulk so you can retire from this character and we can all move on. At this point, I'm not sure what more we can do with him and whatnot. But yeah, I'm there. I'll be there opening weekend. I'm excited just because it's Spider-Man. So Daniel Dustin Creed, I'm curious to see what you do with the Spider-Man movie. I think Shang-Chi was pretty decent and whatnot. So
he's doing Wonder Man too.
Oh yeah, Wonder Man's coming up in a couple weeks.
Most of that.
Okay.
He's like the showrunner too, right? So like even if he didn't direct every episode, he's like heavily involved on every episode.
The Kang Dynasty as well, and then he was like, "This is too much for me." So then he just did the next biggest thing. Probably if we're talking box office and people being actually interested and not just being curious. But I just keep putting down names. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I feel like you're underestimating the Avengers IP. Like Spider-Man's huge, don't get me wrong, but like I feel like Avengers is gonna be a $2 billion movie. Spider-Man might be like 1.5, 2, but like they're gonna be closer than you think.
I think they will be closer, but I still give it to Spider-Man.
One day the DC movie will make that. One day.
Well, I tell you what day it's not gonna be. It's not gonna be Clayface. I am sorry. Clayface ain't gonna be $1 billion movie. I'm excited for this one though. This is gonna be a ton of fun. This is written by Mike Flanagan. This is following the Batman villain. He's a shapeshifter made of magical clay haunting Gotham City. There's not a ton. We don't have an official synopsis. We don't have a trailer, but I know Batman lore, and I know that Clayface is a tragic villain and a tragic character. This comes out on September 11th, 2026, and I just love the idea of us getting like a lower budget, like R-rated horror movie from the two big comic book studios. You know, like this is something that Marvel doesn't do. This is a risk that I'm glad DC is taking. Where it's like, hey, this is a tragic, like horrific storyline. Go watch the Feet of Clay episodes of Batman the Animated Series. That's basically what this is inspired by on HBO Max. I'm very intrigued. I'm not a horror guy, but I am a DC guy, so I'm gonna be there watching Clayface. It's giving me like the Substance vibes. I want to see how Mike Flanagan tackled this story and what they can bring to it. I'm forgetting who's actually directing this movie. Nate, do you remember?
James Watkins. He just did Speak No Evil, the remake with James McAvoy, which was far better than I expected it to be. I'll say I'm excited for Clayface. To me, this is the real first DC without James Gunn, just because Supergirl still feels so James Gunn. I know if he saw this clip on Twitter, he would be like, no, Supergirl is. But to me, this is like the first. I feel like this is an even bigger test, but it's also a movie that they kept the budget, I think, even below 50 million. Like, I think the budget they said is going to be like 30 million. Like, it's going to make its money back regardless. It just will. That's how movies are made. I'm just very excited. I love body horror. That's probably my favorite subgenre of horror in general. And I mean, Mike Flanagan is such a great writer when it comes to like existentialist themes. When it comes to horror, Midnight Mass, Haunting of Hill House, even his movie work like Gerald's Game and all that. I have faith in this. And the fact that Clayface is a tragic villain, I think the script is going to be perfect.
Yeah, this is one where I think it's going to be a sleeper hit. I know, like, we came in with the fire of like, oh, this isn't going to be a $2 billion movie. It's not going to be, but like, if DC can start making like $100 million off of like these smaller budget like horror movies, I'm just thinking of like Justice League Dark characters. Where like, what is a Zatanna? What is a Constantine? You know, Swamp Thing is also in development. Like, this could open up a whole like subgenre at DC Studios that I'm excited for. And this is just Clayface is honestly one of my favorite Batman villains because he's so tragic. So I'd love to see that brought to life. And I think it's interesting telling this origin story without a Batman because this is DCU. So there's no Batman cast yet. And I wonder what implications that has going forward as well. So there's a lot to talk about when it comes to this movie. But Cliff, what are your thoughts here?
Extremely curious about this movie. Simply because, as you mentioned, it'll be the first movie without Batman. But I think this is also the first movie within the DCU that will probably stand on its own. Where, what I mean by that is, most of us, especially the general audience, is not going to care that there's a DC logo popping up before this. It's just going to be like, oh, it's a September horror movie. And September usually, from my experience, has a lot of sleeper hits within the horror like genre and like its relative subgenres as well and whatnot. So I feel like Clayface just has the chance not to just be something akin to like body horror, the substance as y'all mentioned. But if they can also get the aspect that Clayface is also a creature to some degree, I'd be very curious to see like, okay, what can we do with like a possible like creature feature now, and like this character now kind of embodying not just body horror but also that aspect of horror that we don't see that often, unless it's the Nosferatu's. And because I love Clayface. especially post DC like New 52, like the DC Rebirth era Clayface, where he actually joins the team with Batman. I'm like, oh, we're getting more of this character. We're seeing him learn to live with this new part of himself and whatnot. So I'm really curious to see what's happening. Also, Naomi Aki is in this movie. She'll probably play the love interest, but I'm like, you're great. I really love that she's also popping up in all these very curious movies. I think the last one I seen her in was Mickey 17. So I'm happy to see her in a new movie now. I feel like she was in something else I can't think of.
She was in quite a bit this year because Thursday Murders Club.
Yes, and then there was one that came out in 2025 where she was the best friend. Good reviews.
Sorry, Baby. That's what it was.
Yes, yeah.
She was really good.
I haven't seen it yet, but I heard really great things and heard it was a very good movie. I think this might be a little sleeper hit. I think this will be a fun horror movie around September. It's going to reinvigorate my fall love for movies, like my fall seasonal love for movies and whatnot. So, and also James Watkins, I'm here to see what you got. I've seen one of your movies so far, so let's do it, my guy.
Yeah, if this is a good horror movie and it's got that rewatchability, going into October would be really good. We also have another movie that's going to give it a little competition. Nate, talk to us about Resident Evil.
I will be the first to admit I'm not super familiar with Resident Evil lore. I've just seen gameplay of the games. I've watched playthroughs of those. I've never watched a single Resident Evil movie. But neither has Zach Kreger. The genius behind Barbarian and Weapons. He is probably, to me, my favorite new horror director. And he has said he never plans on watching the other Resident Evils. Neither do I. This is going to be set within the world of the games. The movie's going to star Austin Abrams, who played the druggy guy in Weapons. He's playing the lead. He's apparently playing a mailman, a courier, who picks something up from a lab in Raccoon City, and shit goes wild. Look, you had me at Zach Kreger. He has compared this movie to his Evil Dead 2. So it's going to be weird. It's going to be crazy. And I'm just excited to see what he does. I remember when he was first announced to be doing Resident Evil, I'm like, I don't because I had only seen Barbarian at the time, but I'm like, I love him. I've loved him since Wise Kid You Know. But I'm like, I don't want to see him go down the IP route. But everything he said about this movie makes it seem very highly original as well. The cast he's just assembled is also just great. We also have Paul Walter Hauser is going to be in this movie. Zach Cherry from Severance and Fallout is in this movie. And nice. Callie Rice from True Detective Night Country is also in this movie. I'm just very, very excited to see what he does with it. He's probably going to have his kind of dark sense of humor with it. And I love that he's sticking to horror. That was one of the things that stuck out to me when I interviewed him. We see even rumors of Jordan Peele possibly talking with Marvel. And Zach Kreger, he was always just I'm sticking with horror no matter what. And so I think this is a way to do IP in a way that can make me excited about it. Compared to, I remember he was rumored to be doing a Clue movie, and he picked this Resident Evil over Clue, and it makes me so very thankful. So I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm not big into the Resident Evil games, but the fact that this is going to be way closer to the games than the previous batch of movies automatically gets me way more interested in this. And again, I'm not a huge horror guy, but everything you guys say about Kreger's work, it gets me excited to see him tackle this lore, because I do know enough of the Resident Evil games where I'm interested in checking this one out for sure.
I've seen every live action Resident Evil movie. I say y'all need to watch the Mila Jovovich franchise just to see how bonkers that franchise gets and how derailed it goes from the games. I haven't played the games.
I've seen a couple. They are crazy. You should watch them just because they're insane.
I know. I've seen the trailers.
Nah,
that does not explain how insane these are.
Trust me, it doesn't. And I don't know what happened to Mila just getting trapped in her husband directing all of those movies. it's such a unique like viewing experience that Nate, you need to sit down and just dedicate a Saturday to just those 5 movies, and then watch the reboot Raccoon City, which is also terrible. I saw that in theaters, mind you.
Oh
Just
God.
put that out there.
Not watching the Netflix show though.
I've seen the first season of the Netflix show too. It's this. I don't know what it is, but they keep trying to make Resident Evil a thing in live action, but no one has figured out how to translate it just yet. So Zach Cregger has such a great sandbox. Like this could be the best thing ever because he has no like real competition prior, honestly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm curious to see what they do with this. I'll probably see this in theaters too, because anytime there's a Resident Evil movie out, I've never played the games. I just know the franchise and seen like gameplay and watched like timeline videos and whatnot. But it's just the thing. I'm like, oh, new Resident Evil. Why not? Let's go see it. I can put an hour and 40 minutes aside and have some fun.
People mad being like, oh, he's not adapting any of the games. And it's like, neither did the Mila Jovovich movies. And then they tried to with Raccoon City, and it sucked ass. Mm-hmm. So, shut up, and we'll get a good movie.
It's like, what game are they going to adapt? Each game is different. Each game is like depending on what game you pick, it might be a sequel to something, or it might be a prequel to something. So it's like, what exactly are they going to adapt, people? Like, it's zombies. It's not that difficult of a franchise to follow. Like, just hop on board or hop off, essentially.
There's Raccoon City and Umbrella Corps. Those are confirmed to be in this movie. Yeah, it's set in the world of the games. I like that it's not adapting something. Like, I just started watching Fallout Season 2 this morning. That's something set within the world of the games that doesn't adapt any of the games directly. And that show is still beloved by the fans and by new audiences. And I feel like this could be very similar.
To play devil's advocate, if it's not adapting anything, why are we calling it Resident Evil? You know, that's where, like, if you're a fan of those games and you've played all the games, it's kind of weird. It's like, I love these characters, I love this world, and you're not pulling any of them in, so it kind of feels like bait. Where it's like, Zach wants to make a zombie movie, but he needs the IP, the name, right? The name recognition, and I wouldn't be a fan of that personally. Like, I hear what you guys are saying, and I'm not saying the movie's going to be bad, and Fallout's a good example, but Fallout also doesn't have, like, beloved characters in that world the same way that...
Dog meat. People love dog meat.
I mean, sure, but I don't know. I feel like if this was any other game, we would realize how insane that is. Like, oh, this is set in the world of Mario, but Mario's not in it. You know how weird that would be? This is set in the world of The Last of Us, but Ellie's not in it. That's strange. And so I feel like there's...
Of The Last of Us.
That's also strange. that's going to be weird. I hope Caitlin Deaver is going to be ready for the backlash that's about to come her way because of that.
Wait, what's happening? I'm sorry. What's happening to Haley Deaver?
Yeah, The Last of Us Season 3 is going to follow Abby's story. And so Ellie's going to, like, not be in it all too much. And so it's going to be a whole season without Joel and Ellie, essentially, is what we're looking at. And
Caitlin Deaver is still playing Abby, right? Or am I thinking
right.
Okay. Because I still haven't seen Season 2, so I don't even know what happened and whatnot in that. Well, I mean, I played the games, but okay.
Yeah,
it cuts at the end of Ellie's story, essentially.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Okay.
It'll be interesting to see how that goes. But yeah, all I'm saying is, I hear what you're saying, trust the director, but also, I do think fans are justified to be a little concerned about that. You know, that's all.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree with you. I guess my point is, because I'm not even saying trust the director, I'm just like, yo, this is the 8th installment of this franchise. It hasn't been good since the first movie. What more do y'all want? Like, we have.
That's also fair. We've made like a dozen of these and they're terrible, so that's fair. I get it.
From the games, like, our bar is very low here, people. We need something just to be good. Let's get decent. Let's get okay. We can start getting better as we go along.
It's like when Christopher Nolan said we're not using Robin ever again, and we all had to be like, fine, Batman Begins is what we needed, but also TikTok, we got to get Robin on screen now, please. Oh gosh. Speaking of resetting franchises. We have to talk about the Avengers. Avengers Doomsday, December 18th, 2026 is going to be massive. We've got to talk about the Russo brothers coming back to direct a new Avengers movie starring Chris Evans, starring Robert Downey Jr., starring Chris Hemsworth in the weirdest way possible. Doctor Doom, played by Robert Downey Jr., is going to be in this multiversal epic where he's taking on the X-Men, the Fantastic Four, the Thunderbolts, the New Avengers, and the OGs, apparently, with Steve Rogers and Thor Odinson. I find it interesting. We're getting like these trailers every week on Avatar for some reason, but they're also like focusing on children. The post-credit scene for Fantastic Four First Steps ended with Doom and Franklin. Thor is talking about love. We see Steve with a baby. Do we think Doctor Doom is like Rumpelstiltskin of the Marvel Universe? What is happening?
The X-Men trailer doesn't show the babies. I don't think.
We haven't gotten the X-Men trailer yet, Nate.
It leaked, and it looked cool.
I haven't seen it, and it hasn't been officially released, and I don't need Marvel trying to kill us.
I didn't even know there was an X-Men trailer. I just saw Captain Thor. That's it.
That's all that's been officially released.
Well, and then the rumor is the next trailer after X-Men is going to be the Wakandans, and we know T'Challa Jr. was introduced.
So he's pulling a Vecna out here. Is that what Doom is doing? On top of him taking, reading.
Kate Bush, you better get ready.
Oh no!
Sadie Sink, you better get ready.
He just Pennywise out here, just stealing kids, essentially. Wow.
It'll be interesting. I don't know what to make of this movie. I don't even know if I care about this movie. Like, it's an Avengers movie featuring the X-Men, featuring Doctor Doom. I feel like I should be excited, but I don't know. I just don't know what to make of this thing. It's the end of the multiverse saga, and I think I'm at the point where I want to get the multiverse saga over with. And for folks listening, Nate says Dr. Doom was on Epstein Island in our private chat. And that's why we all are laughing and like in tears right now, because yeah. Jesus Christ. Oh gosh. He probably was. Not gonna lie.
I thought he was gonna say Krakoa. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. X-Men, I can kind of see it, but no, it went far where I wasn't expecting it.
Oh gosh. Insane. But no, like, guys, are we excited for this movie? Like, this video is our most anticipated, so we should be excited for everything we're talking about. But I had to include Doomsday because it's gonna be like the biggest movie of the year probably, and we have to talk about it in some form or fashion.
I'm curious. I mean, I like that the X-Men is back. The news that nobody else was excited for but me was that Channing Tatum is back as Gambit. I'm like, hell yeah, my boy is back.
Ugh.
I just love Channing Tatum. He's like one of my favorite movie stars. So,
you know, if he was playing a different version of Gambit, I would be okay. But Deadpool and Wolverine Gambit works in Deadpool and Wolverine. I don't need that to be like our main Prime Universe Gambit.
That version or not? I mean, we saw that version of Gambit kind of blown away, dusted or whatever at the end of that movie. He didn't like escape, so.
Yeah. Wasn't there a post-credit scene where he did escape, or was that a deleted scene? I'm forgetting.
That was deleted.
Okay. If he's playing a different version of Gambit, I'll live with it.
But I just like that. I don't know. I still hate the Robert Downey Jr. as Doom thing. I think that's so ridiculous. It's smart. I think that they're bringing back Chris Evans. As lame as that teaser trailer was, I mean, you need to have him back. I mean,
yeah,
you really do. Because these new characters, not a lot of people have like responded to them as much. You need Chris Evans to make it really feel full. But again, no Spider-Man, no Hulk. So I don't really. I like Steve Rogers. I love Steve Rogers. So I'm excited about that. Weird that we're bringing back the X-Men, but we're not having Halle Berry as Storm back. Like, come on, we need that. Maybe I would be more excited if that then I would say it would make $3 billion.
You want to know what happens if Doctor Doom got struck by lightning? Same thing that would happen to everything else.
Yeah.
That's why she couldn't. She would have fried him in that tin can. It would have been over. Storm plus Thor, dead.
Then just the rest of the movie is them eating spaghetti and meatballs all together. Cool. That'd be great.
That's such a specific meal.
Not even shawarma. No, but Cliff, I don't know what to make of this mess of a movie. It feels like I know we had to move off of Kang, but I feel like Fantastic Four should have set up Doctor Doom better if this is where we wanted to go. Like we had an opportunity, even if it was within the post-credit scenes of Fantastic Four, to like properly lead into what Doctor Doom is and his role in this is. And I feel like it's just weird that Steve Rogers is being pulled back into this story when we have U.S. Agent, the Winter Soldier, and Sam Wilson's Captain America, like all like trying to fill that void for that one character. We saw Old Man Steve. He apparently died at one point as well. So like, why are we going back in time or getting a variant of Steve Rogers? It just feels like those new characters that Nate was talking about didn't hit. And so we're doing everything we can to bring back Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen and James Marsden and Robert Downey and Chris Evans. You know, like Thor's the only one that kind of makes sense.
Are we ready to see Professor X die again for like the 4th or 5th time? Because he's gonna.
That's what's confusing to me about this is that like, even if we kill off the X-Men to establish stakes, I've seen all of these X-Men die at least twice. Yeah. I've seen Scott die like 2 times, man. Like I don't. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do here to make this interesting?
Like why are we doing that to Patrick Stewart? Like, are you ageist? Are you just doing that to him because he's old? Why can't we see James McAvoy die? As I love James McAvoy, bless his heart.
Wait, he did die in Doctor Strange too, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Professor X, and in Logan, and in X.
He died. X3, Logan, yeah, Doctor Strange. Technically, Days of Future Past because they all get like wiped out. And then we reset the timeline again. And then Deadpool and Wolverine, we don't see them die, but that Wolverine's all like, every one of my friends is dead. And it's like, cool. So they died off screen again. Lovely. Yeah. For the X-Men to be like like Omega level mutants and be like the highest echelon of powers in the MCU, they die way too much.
They do.
Or at least curious. I am on the farther end of the spectrum. I'm just like, it's a thing. I know in the Discord chat, I'm like, I'm not paying for this. I will probably pay to see this just because I have to. Just of being a film nerd and being a comic book reader, I'm just like, I have to be in the know. So when I have actual conversations, I can actually, when I hate on this movie, I can actually have reasons to, essentially. But I don't. My only guess is bringing back Steve and whatnot, outside of all the stuff that happened, in real life and whatnot, and characters not being well received. Because they could just recast Kang and call it a day. But my guess is like Steve deciding to get life with Peggy was a variant thing. And if it's in relation to Loki's TV show, he wasn't supposed to do that maybe and whatnot. So he's causing incursions possibly. But also what happened to Monica Rambeau at the end of the Marvel, I'm guessing she's not supposed to be in another universe. That's also some version of the X-Men universe. But then Shang-Chi got the rings that come from the future. But then Kamala Khan's wristbands also are future tech. But then Fantastic Four don't mention that they have a Doom in their universe either. So maybe this Fantastic Four had a Victor Von Doom.
Respectfully, the more you keep talking and you keep explaining the state of the MCU, the more I want to move on. Can we talk about the Denis Villeneuve movie now?
Dude, go for it.
Like, as you were explaining that, I'm just like, I don't even want to think about this anymore. Let's talk about Dune.
Yay. Dune Messiah, we already know the far superior movie that is going to come out on December 18th, 2026.
This is footage of Dune 2. Don't get excited, everybody.
This movie is going to be better than Doomsday. probably not going to make as much money. I really wish they would move it away. Because how are they going to do both IMAX screens then? Huh?
Dang it. Yeah. Oh, man. We need those IMAX screens.
That is very scary. This is the third and I guess final movie in Denis Villeneuve's Dune trilogy. It is adapting the book Dune Messiah. Initially, Denis was like, I'm going to do a movie in between Dune 2 and Dune Messiah. Then he was like, because there's a time jump. Then he was like,
yeah,
nah, the actors are already old enough to play with the time jump, so it doesn't really matter. And I'm like, sick. This movie's also going to have, once again, Timothée Chalamet, Zendaya. Then we also have Jason Momoa returning. We also have Jason Momoa's son being in this movie. We have Robert Pattinson, once again, another Zendaya Robert Pattinson movie. That's a third.
She's got to play Huntress at this point in the Batman Part 3.
Yeah, she has. But yeah, the book for Dune Messiah is weird. It's fried. I do not know how it's going to adapt. I would imagine they're going to make changes to it. Because again, it is very fucking weird. But it's Denis. I love Dune. Take me back to Arrakis. Let the spice flow. Lisan Al-Gaib.
Shout out to the Kizaks Haderach. We love them. Yeah, this is going to take a time skip. So people expecting to see where things left off at the end of Dune Part 2, you're not really going to get that. I'm sorry. I feel like Denis set you guys up with the way he ended that movie. Chani's not that big of a character. Zendaya's character. So the fact that she's coming back and she's going to have like a significant role in the story already signals that we're making changes. And like Nate said, Dune Messiah is weird. So this is a case where every Dune fan is like, yes, I want to see the changes Denis makes to try and like make this a cohesive finale, because there's books after Dune Messiah as well that kind of like keep the lore going. We don't want to talk about those either too much, but I want to see what Denis does to like make this like the final chapter in the Dune saga outside of the prequel show that Max is doing that everybody forgot happened.
Yep.
But yeah, I like this coming out December 18th. This is the one I'm truly excited for. Nate crushed my heart, my soul a little bit when he said IMAX is going to go to Avengers, because that's definitely going to happen.
Warner Brothers got it first, though. They claimed that date for IMAX first, so we shall see.
Ooh, I'm like
Warner Brothers.
Doomsday should be an IMAX, but like, yeah, if it's not an IMAX, it's not that big.
You might
deal.
have that Netflix money.
By December, maybe
Disney's
if we're
mad
lucky.
at us because we gave Narnia an IMAX release and not their like new animated movie about a boy witch that's coming this year.
Is Narnia this year? I'm forgetting. Or is that next year?
This year. So
we didn't include that, but that's an honorable mention for me. I'm excited for Narnia.
Really?
Yep, I'm excited because of Greta. There's
course.
some things about that movie I'm not like thrilled about.
That's going to be a November movie.
Before we get to the honorable mentions in our last movie, Cliff, thoughts on Dune Messiah? Just so we can wrap this one up.
I still didn't know this was actually a thing. I thought like there was going to be like a 5-year gap between Dune Part 2 and this. Because I'm still surprised it was. How fast was this even like filmed?
They shot this pretty quick. They shot this last year, but I think like it was only like, it felt like an 8-month shoot, because all of a sudden it was like, and we wrapped. And Chalamet said we wrapped on Dune 3. And it's like, wait, what?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Okay, I'm here for it. Because that means I'm one step closer to getting children of Dune, like just do the whole franchise at this point. But yeah, I'm excited. I would really love to see Zendaya's paychecks, because like my girl is getting paid this year. I mean, she gets paid every year, but like she might be reaching billionaire status by the end of this year at this point.
Yeah, between Spider-Man, The Odyssey, Dune, and Euphoria is coming back.
The drama with Robert Pattinson.
Oh yeah, that too.
That's one of my honorable mentions. We'll get to that and whatnot. But yeah, like she just making money, so shout out to you. But yeah, I'm excited. I love the first two movies. I love this kind of sci-fi that explores, just religion and all, and the aspects of having a bad white savior complex and all that stuff, and just it's going to be a fun time, and I'm curious to see what's happening now. I'm hoping they're doing like the 10-year like time jump where we can actually see the effects of
Yeah.
Isanaga's war and whatnot. So yeah, I'm all for it.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see the changes that Denny makes to this one. Again, like the turnaround on this is way faster than I anticipated. I didn't think Denny'd get the script done as fast as he did, but I guess he was already sitting on like a finished script when he said he was going to take a break.
I can only imagine, like, if I already done part 1 and 2, I might as well write 3.
The popcorn bucket. We love to see it.
The bucket that started the most disgusting bucket era ever. I still remember that Deadpool and Wolverine bucket.
The Dussy returns.
Yeah.
Okay, last movie on our list, December 25th, 2026. Werwulf. Cliff, break this one down.
Man, Werwulf, December 25th, 2026, directed by Robert Eggers, playing the fame of The Witch, and the recent fun film from, I guess it'd be 2 years by the time it's going to come out now, Nosferatu. He's continuing his kind of like, I want to say medieval exploration, his lore into just creatures in small town, small village epics. He did do what was the one movie he did with the Skarsgård brother, the Northman and whatnot. Yeah. Pretty much this is his next pick. I'm a big werewolf fan. It's one of my top 3 like favorite creatures in movies. The other 2 being the Invisible Man and the Mummy. In medieval Britain, a mysterious creature stalks the foggy countryside, transforming local folklore into terrifying reality as villagers face an ancient supernatural threat. I'm in. I'm here for this. Those growls are going to terrify me. I expect my hairs, my skin to stand up. I can't wait to see the werewolf design. It's going to be beautiful. I'm curious to see what Aaron Taylor Johnson is going to do in the role. Lily Rose Depp is in it as well, which I think that's very interesting since she was just in Nosferatu. And Willem Dafoe. This man is in almost every Robert Eggers film, so keep the train going, sir. I can't wait to see what you do. But yeah, this is a movie. This is one of my top 5 most anticipated because, again, I love werewolves. They're my favorite creatures. People should respect them more. They're far more interesting than vampires. Yes, I said it. You can fight me on this. I will do it as much. Shout out to Lycan. Shout out to all of them. Like, vampires are trash. Y'all still get to look cute and still have fun and live your life. Nothing tragic happened to you.
Trash is crazy. Slow down with the slander.
I love
y'all can't. You can't go outside. Okay. Sunlight. You still get to go outside at night. Werewolves, they physically have to change and go through a bunch of traumatic things, people, and whatnot. But hey, I'm excited. What about you two?
I'm excited.
Man said, you saw the Innocenters. They was living their best life. Get out of here. I'm excited for this movie. For everything you just said, Eggers is a great director. I want to see what his take on the werewolf is going to be. You're right. Vampires get way more play. So like going werewolf route, I think is going to be interesting. It's something that we haven't gotten in a little bit. So this being a Christmas Day release, I'm not watching it day one. That's just not the vibe that I need on Christmas. But I will definitely be there New Year's.
Yeah, I think Nosferatu also dropped on Christmas Day as well. So it's just a recurring thing. For some reason, they make his movies holiday movies. I mean, it works.
Yeah.
No October release, none of that, but
it works though. It's making bank.
Yeah, Nosferatu made money. I am with you. I love werewolves. I prefer them over vampires. I think that's just the dog person in me as well. Anything remotely connected to a dog, I like. I'm very excited. I've liked everything Eggers has done. And I mean, my only concern is like they're saying this movie is going to be in Old English, and I'm like, oh god, I don't know.
Oh gosh,
as long as the werewolf design is better than what was in that god awful Wolfman movie that came out a year ago now, I'm there. Don't make him like a really hairy guy. Like there's rumors, like we've seen Aaron Taylor Johnson on set and he's shirtless and just hairy. And it's like, that better not be the werewolf. That just looks like a hairy man. Shirtless man.
Well, I say, think about it this way. with Robert Eggers and his. I do believe if my research is correct, I have to go back and double check again. But the work on Nosferatu, that was special effects as well, and obviously some computer stuff in post and whatnot. But the one thing that makes the Wolfman interesting is that he is just that guy who gets a lot of fur, gets some very long toenails, some very long fingers, and gets a crap ton of hair and whatnot. Obviously, I think they'll probably do something a little bit different, but at its core, I still want that. I still want the practical elements of the Wolfman. I need Aaron Taylor Johnson in like 12 hours of makeup, in this movie and whatnot. So yeah, I think Eggers is going to give us something special. Like, I have chills just thinking about it right now. And it's going to be a doozy. We're going to be in the theater so much.
I know.
AMC
I'm tempted to get my
sponsored
AMC A list just to help cover the cost of all these movies I'm going to see.
Yeah, I'm thinking now. I'm like, all right, I'm going to have to go every Tuesday or Monday to pay like $6 just to see as many as possible. And whatnot. Yeah.
We're keeping cinema alive, like Seth Rogen said in the studio.
Yeah.
Nate, where can the folks find you?
You can find me across most social media platforms at Nate Knows Movies.
Cliff, where are you on the internet at this point?
Honestly, just Letterboxd, and you can find the name below, Aquacola Lover, for all my Mad Max Fury Road fans. Pretty much that's just where I will log all my movies and TV shows. I'm going through two Super Sentai, aka Power Ranger shows right now. And Letterboxd has all of those series up, so I am watching those. I can't wait to give like a full dissertation on that website about that. So yeah, check it out.
Sick. Awesome. And of course, guys, subscribe to Novice Cinephile. Follow me pretty much everywhere at Novice Cinephile, the Novice Cinephile on Instagram and Threads. We'll catch you in the next video. Whatever that is. I don't know what it's going to be. I'm going to put the little card thing so you can click on the next one, and we will catch you guys later. Keep watching movies. Peace. Bye.